In case anyone's wondering about who sits where and how the lineups are determined, certainly in American bridge, I know now it's late enough that enough Americans might be listening, you have rights, like in the first quarter, Team A can decide who's going to sit where against whom, and then in the next quarter it's the opposite. Whereas in this event, it's not like that at all. It's blind. Each team submits their lineup. It can even be submitted online now, and you just tell everyone, well, this pair is going to be here north-south, this pair is going to be here east-west, and both teams do that in the blind without knowing. So there's no strategy as to who's going to play against whom each quarter, each set.
Yeah, but what I did notice in America, Larry, that it seems pretty random who is east and who is west, who is north and who is south. That's not that common in Europe. I mean, you just have your places. I mean, Lauria will always be east.
Well, there are some pairs who, for reasons superstitious or otherwise, always sit, east or west. But most pairs I know, I'm one of them. I just show up and sit at the table. The only considerations I might have is positioning. Like I might want to sit in front of if I'm playing against a weak player and a strong player, I might want to sit down in front of, if I'm an aggressive preemptor, I'm going to try to sit down in front of the weaker player and try to give him more problems.
And that's also a good idea, Larry, if you like to play most of the contracts, because then you put the weaker player on lead.
Oh, that too. I know some people have said they like to always sit south because that's the hand that's the declarer in the newspapers, but I think they're just joking about that. I've seen people get into arguments over that in America where you do have the right, one team has the right where to sit, and they'll come and sit in a certain position, and the other team doesn't like it, and they want to switch, and then the other pair wants to switch, but ultimately it is decided by rule which pair has the ultimate right to sit in which seats. I know my ex-partner, Marty Bergen, when we played in the 80s, he always made sure to try to sit in, because there's so many weak players in the sponsor pair back then, especially, that he would always make sure to plant himself in front of the weaker player, because he would preempt on 5 to the jack, and he'd open 2 hearts for the 5 to the jack, and he usually wouldn't get in trouble, because even if it went past double, the weaker player was afraid to leave it in, so he insisted on sitting in that position.
One club is balanced minimum, or very strong.
Oh. Quite a delay.
Lauria, Versace, 5-card majors, 1 diamond shows 4, 1 card can be 2.
They're already on board 19 in the closed room. And they're starting with board 17.
Closed room for Poland, so for Italy.
Well, maybe we could have commentary for 2 hours
diamonds showed a balanced 18-19. 2 no trumps was a transfer to clubs.
And Buras.
3 clubs by
North
was forced, and that ended the auction. So North-South missed their 9-card diamond fit to play in their 5-2 club fit. Not a good advertisement for the system.
You don't have it near you. I can get it,
Hello?
of course.
Yeah, I have their card. It's, fairly, looks like what we would call a Polish club here. This one club opening is
Notice that
usually
New Zealand
no
played
trump, but
3 no trumps
a strong hand,
on
or it could just be clubs.
Spade
Here
lead, a small
version.
spade from east, and presumably took 3 spades, 3 hearts, and 3 diamond tricks. The defenders could not unscramble their clubs.
Oh, Mr. Versace, Alfredo, he's made my day already with that 3-spade bid. You know I love that.
The
4 trump and a singleton, absolutely, and especially against a club, which could be anything. Let's put it to them and preempt them.
1 spade overcall, pass from south, 3 spades from west, and 3 no trumps from north, saying, well, if you think you want to preempt me, Maybe I can make
No, I don't.
3-0.
It looks to me
East
like 3-0 double
doubling,
might be the
say,
final
If
contract.
you
I
bid
don't know
3-0
that
trumps at
anybody's going to
random,
run here.
maybe I can beat you. Trumps
Yes, I
playing
look at the
North
North-South
as a 1.5
Minted
on
card. They aren't playing
13
quite
count.
a standard Polish club.
But
It
his
is
achieved,
more like a
Lauria
short
has
club.
achieved his desired result.
They're
He's
playing
persuaded East to run.
one club as either
And
clubs or 11 to 13 balance, or 17 to 19 balance, or
4
22 to
diamonds
23
will
balance.
make
If they've got a
unlucky.
very strong unbalanced hand, they will open 2 clubs.
So well done, Lorenzo.
And if they are, if they had say a 20 count with
Narkiewicz
5 hearts, they would open 1
lost the
heart.
game of chicken.
No, Jeffrey. So that's a little bit different than a straightforward Polish club where it could be some big hand with a major suit or a long one suitor. So that's a slight variation. And I guess I was wrong already because North did run, which is kind of surprising.
I suppose it's not so easy to beat 3-0
Yes,
trumps.
this is a little
I
surprising.
don't think if I were on lead
He
as
has a very
I
good
would
spade
get it
stop,
right.
and
I would
if
probably lead
his
with
diamond
spade.
suit
I guess you
is
should
going
lead
to be
with
a source of
dummy
tricks,
aces.
then you might well
So
make
what
it a
if you
trumps
lead
double.
queen?
If it's not
What
a
do you
source
wanna
of
do
tricks,
next?
then he's likely
I would
to
not
go
beat
down
it.
in
Whatever
4
I'm
diamonds.
supposed to do, I wouldn't beat it.
He probably decided his partner rated to have a singleton
Player does appear
spade,
to
so
have
he's
3 diamond
likely
tricks,
to
3
have some
hearts, and
diamond
2
support.
spade tricks. So I guess if I defend
he does.
absolutely passively by cashing my club winners and getting off playing diamonds or hearts,
3-0 trump
I could
doubled
beat
would have
it,
been much
but
more exciting. I
I
mean,
know I
4
wouldn't do
diamonds,
that.
whether doubled or
Queen of
not,
spades
looks
2,
to me like he's going to
discouraging
lose 2
8.
diamond and 2 club
Maybe I
tricks
should get
and
it right.
probably just be down 1. 3-0 trump doubled would have been quite interesting.
Of course you can by not
starting
continuing
with
spades
either the
and
queen
then
of,
having
probably the queen
partner
of spades
overtake
lead
the
to the
queen of
ace, and
clubs and
would have
return a
been
spade
much more
later in the
fascinating
game.
than this contract.
Yes, if he just ducks the club, you may have hearts or diamonds to exit with, and that would be good enough, wouldn't it?
But a pretty poor result for
Anyway.
the Italians in the close room.
East did not double
North
4
opened
diamonds,
2 diamonds,
and
showing
now I
18 to
think South
19
might well
balance,
think about bidding 5
and they
diamonds.
ended
After
up
all,
in 3 clubs.
his partner could have a single spade stop and much better diamonds.
We got 2 diamonds, 2-0 trump,
Very
and then 3
subtle
clubs
pass
by
by
North,
Lauria to suck
whatever
his
that meant.
opponents
Maybe
into bidding
2-0
5
with a relay to
diamonds,
3 clubs.
which he will double.
It is. 2 spades is a relay to 2-0 trump.
I guess 3
Yes,
clubs didn't
one of
make.
the problems with playing 2 diamonds
Close
opening
to.
as
No,
18
it
to
didn't.
19
Queen of
balance
spades
or
lead,
strong
1,
balance
2
hand
down.
is
Yes,
that
2
you
diamonds
have to
and 4 clubs, one way or
persuade
another.
opener to bid no trumps when you want to play no trumps. So
2 diamond
if
opening in the
you
close
can't
room, did you
produce
talk
no
about
trumps,
that?
Yes,
show
balance,
any hand that
18,
wants to play
19.
no trumps because you're always wrong
Very
sided.
popular style with the Italians. I think all the partnerships play that, or it allows you to use the jump to 2-0
I wonder
trump by
if
an
South
opening
is
bidder
allowed to guess
as
to pass the 2
variety of
diamonds, strong 2
hands.
diamonds, 18 to 19 balance. I guess if he had a 5th diamond, he would have done that.
Certainly that's good.
Oh yes, definitely. If
Two
you've got
diamonds suddenly
5 card
keeps
diamonds
you
losing very little else,
lower,
then 2 diamonds
and
is
partner
quite possibly
has,
the best contract, and that will certainly be the best guess of the best
weak
contract.
hand. Whereas in standard you'd bid a club, a heart, 2-0 trumps. And
So 4 diamonds
Go
will
down there.
presumably be down
But who
1
plays
trick,
standard
and it'll
nowadays?
just be a small 2-imp
Do
swing
you?
to
by
Poland.
definition, 50% of
Who
the
are,
world's wouldn't be
if you
standard,
weren't
would
here
it?
earlier, we talked about the position here. Italy's in first place and
For sure.
qualifying comfortably. Poland, though, is in desperate
Okay,
need of
we're in 4
not
diamonds.
necessarily to
Well
win this
done
match,
by
but it's
South
just
for passing 4
they can
diamonds
keep it
rather
close
than
or
raising
win
to 5.
small. They'll be
Had he raised to 5,
entering
I'm
the
sure
final
Lauria
day.
would
They'll
have
still
doubled
be in
and then have been
contention.
sort of
They're
like
certainly not in the top 8, but they're
did
hovering
300.
where they still have a chance to
By
make it.
contrast here on the spade lead, I think
Yeah,
declare
they're tied 11th at the moment, 9
We'll go
VPs
quietly,
behind
well done.
8th, so they can't afford a big loss.
if the ace of diamonds is
Not
marked
only that, there's an
offside,
excellent
should you lead a
chance
low
that if
trump
they
out of
do
your
end up
hand?
7th or 8th, they might be playing Italy in the semifinals. So all of these imps will count again, although
Roughing
factored
the spade.
by probably 50%.
Okay. Jack of diamonds. 10 of diamonds.
Yes, but the maximum carryover, the quarterfinals and semi-finals, is 16.
Might as well duck it,
20
otherwise you can
imps
lose
in
3
the
trump
final.
tricks. In
That's
fact,
an
even as
interesting
the
play
cards
there.
lie, if
Jack and
Lauria
still
could
could.
see through the backs of the cards, he could
opposed
lose
to a
3
low
trumps.
diamond. He could have
The
hoped.
Jack of Diamonds was designed to have Versace cover from Queen 10 third, and then fade to dummy and take a diamond finesse.
Yeah, it seems strange, very strange. He's losing 3 diamond tricks.
One.
So he's going 2 down now, isn't he?
Both teams on that deal.
I think he's only losing 1 diamond, 2 diamond tricks. Still went Jack 10,
Yes.
low, queen.
Right.
So yeah, he's still only down 1. It just, I don't know that the Jack of diamonds is the play I would have made. It certainly would have lost a stiff queen. I don't know what he was playing for. Maybe queen low and they don't cover.
Carlita played in 1 heart as east, making.
Yes, it seems a curious play when East had shown all the strength. If he thought that West might have ace queen X, then playing the Jack would make more sense.
Gone plus, not very much. So 1 turns about an average.
So here we have what certainly looks like a dull part score hand with the strength evenly split and no great shape. We see in the other table, West opened very light in 3rd seed. Pass, pass, West opened a diamond. Favorable vulnerability, I would open that West hand too in 3rd seed. And he got to buy it for 1 heart, which would certainly make me happy to be playing on the 1 level with an 8-card fit.
South opens a club which is balanced 11 upwards. Narkiewicz and Buras play a very aggressive style of Polish club.
Here in the system north-south play, they can open these balanced 11 counts, and the south hand's pretty ugly, vulnerable against not yet in 2nd seed, but their system allows for light openings.
You remember the days, Pio, when opening bids started at 13.
So, Lauria showing the majors here.
In that case,
Can do that, being a passed hand.
I forgot.
Non-vulnerable.
And white on red.
But I do remember when you were supposed to have 26 points for a game, whereas here we can see that.
And 2 hearts will likely buy it, I would think. Versace shouldn't
I know
really
South's
bid more.
certainly not bidding again.
let's say 9 to
I guess 2 diamonds says equal length in the majors.
majors, I
It
guess.
does.
2 diamonds.
Ask partner to bid his longer major
Better one.
and bid hearts with equal length.
Now, Versace's facing a passed hand. Is there any chance he's going to try for a game anyway? I could certainly envision a passed hand where game has play.
And 2 diamonds simply looking for a place to play. I didn't see an alert, and you can't tell from looking at
On the actual hand, if you just gave Lauria the 10-9 of the 10 of spades instead of the 10 of clubs,
He will defend
game
it.
would
I had clubs.
at least, yeah. In fact, he has invited a game.
He had it all.
Versace
But
has
would you chase thin games non-vulnerable, Larry?
a lot of bidding.
Well, in general, we don't chase thin games not vol at imps, but I think Versace can envision, I mean, certainly if his partner happens to be 5-5, what would it take? I mean, for example, from Versace's point of view, picture this hand opposite. King, queen, 5th, queen, 5th, 2 little singleton. I mean, that's a 7 count, and game has play opposite that. So I don't think it's crazy to look for it.
South doesn't have an no, right. South has no entry. Or he has.
So in practice, it's probably unlikely that partner is 5-5 in the majors because that gives the opponents quite a lot of minor suit cards, and they've only bid 1 their trump.
New Zealand against Pakistan on a hand that was passed out in the other room. Somehow that's always a more satisfactory way to get a big swing, isn't it? When you bid game and they pass it out in the other room.
As it is, we've probably all been in worse games. I mean, with the Queen of Hearts on, it looks like he only has to lose 2 spades and the Ace of Hearts, but of course there is a ton of handling, and not another trump would be very useful if they were in 4 hearts.
So what will Lauria do? Presumably he'll play the Queen of Diamonds.
So when the Queen of Diamonds is played, I don't see how South can not cover. I mean, it's going to get covered. So I think Lauria was going to finesse anyway. He just needs tricks, but certainly going to get covered.
All that stuff and covered.
North reflexively giving count in the diamond suit.
Well, if he's going to finesse, then that shows he's certainly right to cover, because the king will drop anyway on the 3rd round.
So I think he's going to do some sort of cross ruff here, cash his Jack of Diamonds, Ace of Spades, and take a bunch of ruffs.
Play a heart up, leaving the Jack of Diamonds to retain control, and he has some sort of club stopper to retain control in his own hand as well. It's not.
If he goes for a cross rough line, then he'll never make the long spade. So he needs he's got 2 diamonds, the Ace of Clubs, and the Ace of Spades on top. So he needs to negotiate 5 trump tricks.
From leading the 4th diamond at an inconvenient moment.
I was once asked if you had to choose 2 players who you would like to declare a difficult hand for you to save your life, who would you choose? I chose Krzysztof and Lauria.
Proclivities in this area.
Well, I like the choice of Krzysztof. I could think of so many for my second choice.
I don't want to use words that were too long to know what their tendency is.
You wonder, I mean, Lauria, is anyone, we could probably look this up, his age, I mean, certainly he's so much older than everyone else on the Italian team, and there's a point in bridge where, you know, like for Bob Hammond, for example, one of the best players of all time, now over 70, or about 70, you know, at some point you just can't be as sharp as you were when you were 30 or 40. And I'd be curious. Maybe I can look up Lauria's age here.
Cross-trap and had not established his spade, so the opponents could draw trumps.
You can in the encyclopedia. Well, it did go 1 down after all.
Contract, 5 diamonds reached after South bid hearts, which was West's suit, of course.
In retrospect, he might be wishing he just played on spades and aimed to lose 2 spade tricks, the Ace of Hearts and 1 other trick in the wash.
I kind of lost that while I was looking up Lauria here. Did it looked to me like he was en route to making it. What went wrong there? Oh, he probably got over-roughed on the 4th diamond. That must be what went wrong.
Yeah, and then he got a trump return, yes.
2 clubs by West.
Was 1 trick short.
Okay, so Lauria was born in 1946. That would make him 65 this year, and I really don't know of any expert who at 65 is at their peak. I mean, certainly experience-wise, but not sharpness-wise.
So now I get to explain Gazzilli. The 2 clubs is either 11 to 15 with clubs or any 16 plus. 2 diamonds shows 8 or more high card points.
Took a bit of time to bid 2 spades, maybe trying to remember the system.
South.
It seems to work well when opener's got the strong option, and the responder's got the strong option, because you get to force the game at a nice low level. There does seem to be a problem if opener has got all the weak hand with hearts and clubs, because I don't quite see how responder would show preference for clubs or not.
I think for shape. So we're find out in a second what's
Unfortunately, on
going
this layout, the best contract is no trump by West. That there's just no way to get there to protect the spade queen after a heart and no trump. But I guess the second best contract is free no trump by anybody.
without breaking it down any further. So East looking
Preferably East or West.
5422 may.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
The spade king is well placed, but that 5-1 heartbreak certainly gives problems to 3-no trump.
Right strong hand, you could easily make 5 diamonds. Change the queen of hearts and queen of spades.
Might depend what you do on the first round of diamonds. If you duck the third round completely, you'll play a small towards the jack. Then the ace will pop in nicely.
Everything's friendly other than the heartbreak. Clubs are 3-3, and if you
The diamonds.
start diamonds from the right hand, yeah, but it's normal to play diamond to the king and ace. You would think if it gets down to that.
I think you might be, if you get a spade lead and win the queen, you might hope for the hearts to be
So,
4-3, and you say,
Versace has described his hand now as 18 to 20 with a 2-5-4-2 shape.
Won't you play to set up diamonds? You've got a tempo.
So now Lauria has to decide whether he wants to go for no trump or diamonds.
Even if the king loses to the ace.
Certainly he would, if he knows his partner's got a doubleton spade. Ace 5-2 in spades is so much worse than ace 10-2. At least ace 10 low if your partner's a doubleton honor. It's such a big difference because you know you're playing it from your side with a spade lead.
Well done by Versace, by Lauria.
Sweden made it on a diamond 10 lead.
Well, I can't even read Italian, but I can read what G. Luck Kenville has written down there.
Diamond 9.
Just what you said, Roland.
So very well done by Lauria to
But
select.
this is not
no
so
trumps.
easy to play.
Buras only knows that
Well, presumably he'll get a spade lead, he'll put up the queen, and he'll think he has 9 top tricks by playing a heart to the jack and running hearts. So a good declarer is going to say to himself, okay, after my spade queen holds, if hearts are 4-3, I have 9 easy tricks. The question is, what can I do if they're not splitting? And then he'll go from there.
Kiko, I think probably in match 8 in the Venice Cup, 6 diamonds is being played by East-West and not by North-South.
So, for example, he could afford to make a diamond play now. He could make a diamond play now, knowing that no matter what happens, he always has the hearts in reserve.
Yes,
But,
it's more likely to be doubled if it's North-South.
and now he can lead a low diamond out of his hand, but he's just going straight forward. I guess he's planning to test hearts, and if they don't break, to try a diamond up. And I don't see how he's going to know not to put up the king of diamonds.
I agree. Looks like it's going down.
Well, he gets a chance to see what North discards.
If he can work out what to do in the diamond suit here.
After the lead, he knows spades are 4-4. He knows that South has 5 hearts, so only 4 unknown cards in South's hands, so he has to guess, really.
Yeah, he knows the spades are 4-4 because they do lead second and fourth best. So since the 3 was led and he was looking at the 2, he suspects 4-4. And it can't even be from a 3-card suit because the poles from, if, for example, he had King 7-3, they don't lead low from King 7-3. They would have led middle. So he really does know the spades are 4-4.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So they lead middle from 3, honor to 3, and 3 small. Doesn't matter. Middle.
4 or 5 days, and they've had a good run. They're playing against Canada here.
And also North's signal at trick 1 in spades was reverse count, presumably. They reverse attitude and reverse count, and probably when the queen can't be beaten, they'll probably play count.
Has discarded a diamond, which seems as if it's the indicated play, since you need partner to have a high diamond to have any shot to beat it, I think.
I think he should have probably thrown a spade away, shouldn't he?
I'm going to risk getting myself thrown off BBO in a minute with a provocative comment. But let me see if the play stays slowed down or not.
Suspense.
Okay. No, Lauria has let us down.
So you're going to play a spade or a heart?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, I think.
Unless he plays a club. He does know North has the queen of clubs, I think. Declarer would have cashed the ace-king of clubs before I'm...
Well, certainly there's nothing left of this hand now. It's
that would leave him no
just going to be
I guess
down
it's
one,
possible
4
to
heart
play
tricks,
clubs, but then North would
2
shoot
clubs,
the
2 spades.
club on the second round.
No accidents can happen.
He doesn't have 4 spades. I think he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he would have responded.
So what I was going to say, sorry to leave you hanging there, is this is in honor of my partner, Dave Berkowitz, who I think is listening. He's about an hour away from flying over to Holland to play in the transnationals. And the reason I thought of him is I remember him once doing a Vugraph broadcast, and I was about to pronounce North's name, and I should know how to pronounce North's name because he's played many times in America. But David was once doing a broadcast, and he couldn't pronounce North's name, and he just said, well, I'm going to call him the North Pole.
Declarer can cash out 8 tricks, so they might as well take their winners.
Uh-oh. Am I in trouble?
I don't think so.
Do you get it?
We do indeed get it, yes.
No swing. Good bidding exercise all round. Well played.
Or as Sia used to say, no one can pronounce or spell the Polish names, but they sure can play.
New deal. 3 no trumps. After a strong no trump, raised to 3. East didn't use Stamen, so North led a spade, and Declarer had 4 spades.
So at the other table, East-West seemed to have missed their 4-4 spade fit. Naturally enough, after West strong no trump, East did not use Stamen. I agree with that. I would not use Stamen with that East hand, because even if you find a 4-4 fit, it's not necessarily a better contract. And the problem with using Stamen is you give away so much information. When you say 2 clubs, first of all, they might double for the lead. And even if they don't double for the lead, that's an inference. And then the declarer has to describe his hand. And so it just gives away so much. But Lauria is willing to give it away, and he's going to end up in 4 spades.
Why would he, if he has ducked a heart, they continue hearts forever? You know you have only...
Yes, it depends quite what method you play. Certainly using standard Stamen, by bidding 2 clubs, you tell the opponents whether your partner has 4 hearts or not, as well as the information you actually want to know about the spades. I think Lauria Versace may play 5-card Stamen, so 2 diamonds denies a 5-card major and 2 hearts, which is forcing with 4 spades. So this way, at least Lauria hasn't disclosed whether or not Versace holds 4 spades.
The mystery to me, though, is why was 3 no trump down? We're going to have, I mean, they have 4 spade tricks and 3 clubs for 7, 2 hearts for 9, and a diamond for 10. We'll have to look at the play at the other table, because it's hard to imagine 3 no trump down.
I suppose you might finesse the 9 of clubs.
Yeah, a
So
club miss guess, maybe.
relayed for distribution and probably found out his partner had a
In
side
fact, he
doubles in
did.
somewhere.
Early on, played a
See the
club to
plays?
the 9, which is... Could we find a reason for that?
Okay, so at some point in the play, Declarer saw South pitch a club on the third round.
What lead did he get?
He played the Queen of Clubs.
He got a friendly
And now
spade
diamond
lead.
to the
North
ace
led
and
his low
diamond to
spade,
the
low,
king,
low 10.
and West
So he had 4
finessed
spades,
into
2 hearts for
clubs,
6,
losing to the 10
2
and
clubs
the
for 8, and a
diamonds
diamond
cashed.
for 9. You can't go
3
down.
diamonds and 2 clubs. So
He
it
must
says
have miscounted them.
essentially risked his contract for an over trick.
Yeah, he knocked out the ace of
Cost
clubs.
him
They
very
shifted to
dear.
diamonds. He had 9 top tricks, and he played a club to the 9 and 10, trying for an over trick. He obviously, either the play is entered wrong. I like to try to protect the players and assume something that looks this impossible was some sort of either a mechanical error or it was entered wrong by the Vugraph operator, because nobody is capable of going down in 3-no trump. Nobody in this field.
We saw that a lot yesterday with the Singapore.
I just checked with one of our colleagues doing the commentary in the other room,
Against
and he confirms that he did play a club to the 9.
In the senior event.
Well, at least according to the operator.
China, Hong Kong, in
And they did ask him
place.
in the room if that was correct,
Austria,
and the operator confirmed.
India, and Argentina, and there's a bit of a gap.
Yes, and if you look at the live scores on the World Bridge website, 3-no trumps is shown as being 1 down on a spade lead. What actually, according to the play record, after North led a spade trick 1, the player played 2 more rounds of spades, and South made the master discard of the 3 of clubs. And Declarer appears to have drawn the inference that this discard wouldn't have taken place from 3 to the 10, and he must have discarded from 4-3 Doubleton.
a lead of 6 is going to disappear. Poland needs the point.
He may also have deduced that after the spade lead and Jack to 3, surely North couldn't have 4 hearts either, so where was his 4-card suit? Maybe he decided that North must be 3-3, 3-4 or similar.
For tomorrow, we can tell
That might be a wonderfully brilliant inference to take at match points, but I can't quite justify it at this form of scoring.
if we assume that the top 6
It's going to cost
teams
Poland
right
12
now
imps. 12 imps.
are relatively safe. Sweden
They're in a
tomorrow
position
plays
where
USA 2.
they can't afford too many of these.
So that's a sort of average finish. Australia plays Singapore, China, and Bulgaria. So again, 2 reasonably difficult matches. Brazil, who are somewhat away from the pace now, play Pakistan, Bulgaria, and Egypt. So again, 2 teams.
So Lauria, as we see, can't go down here, but as he's looking at just the 2 hands, not Lauria, Versace's playing it, he has to figure out if spades are 4-1, which spade should he play next? Should he play the ace and cater to 4-1 that way, or lead low to the king and cater to 4-1 the other way? And he's going through all the inferences he has from the play so far. It's really, other than the opening lead, there's not much to go by.
Maybe we should explain the 2 diamond response. Did you do that already, Jeffrey? Perhaps you did.
Yes, I think it just denied a 5-card major.
But I guess
Well,
Two
it's
hearts,
either...
which showed 4 spades.
1 trumps or
Yeah, but you're wrong, because 2 diamonds is denies a major if he is minimum, but he can have 4 spades if he is maximum. So 2 hearts is a relay, and 2 spades confirmed a maximum of 4 spades.
It's already, club first.
I know Zia is a big advocate of, after a strong no trump, to develop a system whereby the no trumper doesn't describe his hand, but the responder describes his hand so that once the play starts, the defenders don't know what the one-no trump opener has. In other words, it's one-no trump, two clubs, some sort of relays, and the responder tells what he has. Keep the closed hand in the dark.
The advantage of playing this method is that you can actually tell whether you're minimum or maximum at the 2 level.
Sorry, we're asked to guess which was the most surprising of the teams in the top 8 of the divisions. It might be
I find that when filling out a system card or working on system with a partner, especially a newer partner, that one-no trump and the follow-ups, that's the part that's the most difficult. It takes the most time. There's the most sequences to memorize. It's the toughest part for me of the convention card. No system after a one-no trump opening.
Morocco, and then maybe it's Egypt or Venezuela, I'm not sure, but one of the teams in the bottom 3 or 4.
That's interesting because I think the standard systems that don't do too badly after one-no trump opener, and there are actually a lot of other sequences that should be discussed first, such as in competition. People often spend a lot of time discussing uncontested system, and then they find in practice that the opponents intervene in all the auctions.
Yeah, these days that's more true than anything. After a one-no trump opener, there's people strain to get in. Oh, we're going to have to stop that discussion because the deal that just came up looks quite exciting.
Is unexpected.
Well,
Stoppy will
can
do
be
that.
done.
So the closed room was 6 diamonds doubled by East, presumably as a sacrifice against 5 hearts. And certainly 5 hearts was, well, yeah, 5 hearts is a make. So it's possible that that's the par result. 6 diamonds doubled down 2. Now we can look into it in more detail.
Well, it is a par result because 6 hearts can go down on a spade rough.
And we're sure that 6 spades is not a make. We have to look at all these things. That 6 spades sure looks like East has 2 trump tricks.
For the majors.
Yes. And wouldn't you end up
And
in
he'll
your
go
7-2
forced.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm assuming he has 2 trump tricks, but we got to run this through deep finesse or run this through our brains. Let's see. North can get to dummy with the ace of clubs, only the 10 of spades, Jack Queen, and a spade. He's got a finesse against the 8, but the defense can lead diamonds twice. So I think that's the final answer as far as 6 spades. Because a diamond lead, you'd have to rough it, and then they get him with the ace of spades, they can tap you again. So we'll say 6 spades can't make, and we know 6 hearts can't make. So we're agreed 5 hearts is the last plus for north-south. 650 north-south is the best they can do, and east-west sacrificing 6 diamonds. They're off 2 hearts and a club for 300. So we're convinced now that that's par.
So south bid 2 diamonds showing both majors, west leapt to 5 diamonds, and north has doubled. Now, different people have different ideas as to what double means here. Is it strict penalties, or does it just show high cards and ask partners to pass with a relatively normal hand for his action, but bid on when he's got some extra shape as here?
Well, that's a good question, Jeffrey. And I suspect a lot of pairs have general agreements, but then they might not be sure how it applies after a Michaels bid. Certainly if it went 1 diamond, 1 heart overcall, 5 diamonds, most pairs here play double as cards, not pure penalty. So this auction's a little different.
I'd also like to ask you both this question. Would you Michaels with 5-7?
I think I would with this hand. I would my plan would be to Michaels and then bid 4 hearts next. I think that's a good description of the hand. 2 diamonds, and hopefully I get the chance on my next bid to bid 4 hearts, and I think that would show something like this. So I like it.
Yes, I agree. If I had 7 spades and 5 hearts, I would overcall one spade and then bid hearts later. But this way around, I know I can show the spades with the first bid and then bid my 7-card suit, which is below my other suit, allowing partner to give preference to spades if he really wants to.
Just a note about the 5-diamond bid by Versace. In their system, 1 diamond promises real diamonds, at least 4. So that made him able to make that pressure bid. If the 1 diamond opening could have been a 3-card suit, 4-4-3-2, for example, it's not as attractive to jump to 5 diamonds. So Lauria has a tough decision here. 8 imps at stake. If he passes, he's going to lose 8 imps. He's got an attractive hand for offense. He knows 6 diamonds won't be too bad. It probably won't go down too many. But he does have some nice defense in that he has ace-jack, 8-4 of spades.
On the other hand, Larry, he knows partner has 5 diamonds. Lauria has 2 diamonds more than he could have had. So a lead to 5 diamonds.
That makes it so attractive to bid. The fact that he's got so many extra diamonds for his, he knows his side has at least an 11-card diamond fit, and he's not vol against vol. He can probably envision, if he just pictures 5 diamonds ace opposite, he knows it can't be too expensive. Okay, well, not only is he bidding on, but he's preparing the defense against 6. Should his opponents bid 6 hearts, I suppose he's telling his partner about his spade holding. His partner will know to lead the singleton spade.
Wouldn't you describe that as a great bid, if you're going to 6 diamonds anyway?
I think it's a very thoughtful bid, yes, because he knows a diamond lead isn't going to help since he's got 6 of them, and I think it's a very thoughtful bid. So this deal was very well judged at both tables for a push. Notice that North doubled 6 diamonds. If North had passed 6 diamonds, he would be saying to his partner, you know, I'm willing to hear you say 6 hearts. North decided he didn't really have enough to invite his partner to go on to 6 hearts. I think if North had passed, South might have gone on to 6 hearts with his 7-5 and a diamond void.
Yes, I think that's right. North has only got 2 points in his partner's suits, and his ace-king of clubs may even be opposite a void.
It wouldn't surprise me if some of the 66 tables that North-South did misjudge to go to 6 hearts, but East-West couldn't stand it and saved in 7 diamonds. I expect 7 diamonds doubled down 3 at many tables.
We have 19,000 users online. Now that's what we usually have at peak time, Sunday around 2100 GMT. And this is just, you know, a weekday. Amazing. And 5,000 spectators at a single table, this one. Can you imagine what it will be like when we get to the semi-finals and final?
And if it's a Sunday.
It is a Saturday. Well, it's a Friday and Saturday.
Two on a club lead. The 2-club opening bid and a limited hand. Also
Actually, Thursday, Friday and Saturday.
over 3 clubs.
For the Bermuda Bowl, they play
So
8
there's no
segments
ways,
of 16
much
boards.
sway of imps one way or another on this board.
So South will overcall hearts, West has a normal negative double, and North will raise hearts, and I just looks like a part score battle,
One club
which
opening
North-South
is
rate to
2
win
or
it,
more
given
clubs.
that their hearts will outbid the clubs.
Yes, but the Italians were awkwardly placed in the other room because the opening was 2 clubs. So Norse had to raise to the 3 level.
Now, South has a kind of a law of total, what I would consider a law of total tricks decision here, and the general rule is when you know your side has 9 trumps, you go to the 3 level. Either you're going to make it, not here, because everything's wrong, or they were going to make it, which is the case. 3 clubs was going to make because all the cards are on side for East-West. In fact, East-West can make 10 tricks in clubs.
I think West is supposed to bid 4 clubs here.
Should we check out the law here? It's probably, let's see, how many tricks can North-South make in hearts? They are off 3 diamonds, 2 clubs, and we assume best defense, so a spade as well. They have only 7 tricks. East-West have 11 tricks, 10 tricks. So 17 tricks, 18 trump. Close enough.
Because 3 hearts needs 2 finesses. 4 clubs
Feel would be a little more exciting in a different form of scoring because, you know, 3 hearts down 100 as opposed to minus 130, or East-West can make 130. That's a huge difference in match points or board a match. Here, in this form of scoring, it's not a big deal. If East-West go to 4 clubs here and make 130 instead of 100, it's nothing. And not that they will. East-West are done.
It's probably well placed, that king. And you have
What you're also
It's
saying
also
here...
important.
Okay, Larry, go on.
Go ahead, Roland. I'll say one more thing, then go ahead, Roland. It's also important to know, I mean, North was thinking a little bit, it seems, over 3 hearts, but the 3 heart bid, you have to have an understanding on these auctions that 3 hearts means, partner, I'm just competing to the 3 level, probably because of 9 card fit or I have a singleton club. It's not inviting 4. If South wanted to invite 4, he's got to say 3 diamonds. He's got to make a bid a new suit as a game try. So 3 hearts just says, partner, I want to play in 3 hearts. And North has no reason to be thinking over that. Go ahead, Roland.
So what you're also saying indirectly, Larry, is that you shouldn't support partners overcall with a doubleton. Many do with on a 1, and also that you shouldn't overcall with a 4-card suit, because then it's impossible but both to judge when to compete and when not to compete.
Well, that's a good question, and you know, I wouldn't put it in absolutes. I have on occasion overcalled a good 4-card suit, and once every 5 years I've raised on a doubleton honor, but I try not to do either of those things. I would tend to do that on a scale of 1 to 10. If the average expert would be a 5, I'd be like a 1. I just try to avoid both of those actions.
So in this particular auction, where it's gone 1 club, 1 heart double, there should never be any need for North to raise on a doubleton, unless he's trying to fool the opponents, of course, because he's got plenty of room to redouble or bid 1 their trump or bid any new suit.
These days, a lot of people are playing that after that double. There's all sorts of methods available. Transfers are popular, where you could show a good raise to 2 hearts or a bad raise to 2 hearts, or make a lead directing bid, or redouble means something. There's all sorts of systems out there.
Okay. No swing.
Same thing after an opening 1 of a major is doubled, 1 heart double or 1 spade double. There's a lot of systems.
Final contract on board 23. 5 diamonds by North-South.
So 5 diamonds by North-South at the other table. Looks to be a nice contract. On a really good day, you'd make 6 diamonds, but it's quite a good job to get to 5, which is an excellent contract. Looks like it has some work to do also.
Get to dummy to pitch 2 hearts on the spades, and it's good enough to make...
Yes, you need lots to go right for you to make 6 diamonds. I think 5's quite high enough.
6 and 7 of diamonds.
Yeah, I mean 6 certainly starts with the diamond finesse, and not to mention all the handling. So yeah, 5 is plenty. Good job to get to 5 and to make it, because there's a lot of handling there. South has to deal with all those clubs.
And be
So certainly with 5-5, for anyone new watching this, with 5-5, you always open the higher ranking suit. It's hard to find an exception to that. So diamond passes spade. Will Lauria overcall 2 hearts vulnerable? Let's see. I would.
Well, then I can ask you another question, Larry. I mean, the 5-5 in the black suits, many tend to open 1 club rather than 1 spade. What's your view on that?
Yeah, that used to be more popular, but it seems these days most like 1 spade. It just seems to be the winning. It seems to be the prevailing theory now. I'm not so sure why, though. I mean, 1 club and then bid spades twice is a nice way to get that hand in, but it seems that 1 spade is in fashion these days with 5-5 in the blacks. So 2-no trump here is some sort of, it might be what we call in America good-bad. It might be that 3 clubs here would show a good 3-club bid, and 2-no trump is a weaker 3-club bid, although arguably, from my point of view, South has a decent hand with his king of hearts now upgraded.
Okay. 5 diamonds.
Well, let's see if we could find out what that 2-no trump bid means. North is probably thinking, well, if my partner's got diamonds and a distributional hand to be bidding again, I don't care what he has, so I'm going to put him in a vulnerable game.
Chile tried it.
So the play is going to start with a heart to the ace and the queen of hearts to the king, and presumably ace of clubs rough a club and ace of spades throwing the heart, and then declare is going to take stock and predict he's going to make it one way or another.
So let's give some credit where credit is due. I'm going to post the link now.
Now a spade rough, club rough with the queen of diamonds.
Larry Cohen's description of the good, bad 2-no trump.
6, 7, and queen of diamonds.
Where did you dig that up from? You are good. I didn't even know that was out there.
Well, would you believe it if I told you that I have around 3,000 macros on hand, sorted alphabetically?
I guess I'd believe you, but I'm in awe. That's remarkable. This good bad 2-no trump is dangerous, a very dangerous convention to play without tons of discussion. I mean, it's a good convention, it's popular, but it requires lots of discussion. It's not for a casual partnership. Okay, so the first few tricks here are, as predicted, fairly routine. Now he's going to throw his heart away. He would be so much more comfortable if the 9 of diamonds were in dummy, because then he can trump his clubs with impunity and not worry. He's got to be a little worried, I think, about the 9 of diamonds, because ace of spades, king of spades, he can throw a club, he can play the ace of diamonds, but it's just that roughing that club with the 7 of diamonds might end up being a little scary.
3 no trump on the heart lead.
Did it make?
Yeah. So
Declare
I must have picked.
I'm trying to think of a way Declarer can handle this where he doesn't have to worry about that 9 of diamonds becoming a factor. Because if he comes to his hand now and plays a club, he's in danger of going down. He's so worried about losing to the 9 and king of diamonds. Am I getting this right here?
Perhaps what happened is that East encouraged a club shift by
Yeah, you are right.
So West won the king of diamonds and played a club, setting up the 10 of clubs for a 9th winner.
I suppose Declarer could do that on his own, but it's not so easy.
Mm-hmm. Very short of interest to
On the other hand, he can't play a diamond either, can he? I mean, risking that it loses and the trump comes back.
Diamond finesse certainly isn't safe. I mean, the king of clubs has fallen, but he doesn't know what that's all about. He doesn't. Sure, we all see he can take a roughing finesse in clubs, but he doesn't know that. It could have been king queen third. It could even be a false card, right? Not likely, but He doesn't know if it was king in one or king queen third, and if it was king in one like it was, and he trumps a club with the six of diamonds and it goes nine of diamonds, he's got big troubles.
Well, he could play a small diamond to the ace, would work on some holdings.
That might be what he's considering, because if he does play a small diamond to the ace, and the nine falls. Well, the problem there, though, that's not guaranteed either, because now he might trump a club, and it gets over-ruffed with the king, and another trump comes back. If he started with king third of diamonds, he would be down on that line. I'm looking at the play at the other table, and Declarer, it seems, he got to this position, and he didn't play a diamond to the ace. What he did was he ruffed a spade to hand and played a club and trumped it with this diamond spot, and he lived because East had the 5 and 4 diamonds, and
so he can see the danger of the
he survived.
Vugraph.
Sweden is up in 8th again with a little help from Chile. And China have problems with Guadeloupe.
Australia is all square.
One thing he does know is that he can ruff spades in hand safely with East overcalling in hearts. East probably hasn't got lots of spades.
I'm asked by one spectator what's best here, and I don't think that we can tell that. I mean, is anybody sure?
Well, that's what I've been getting at is, I'm aware of this 9 of diamonds problem, and sometimes, we're trying to think and do too many things at once, and we're missing something obvious, but it's reassuring that the play is slowed down here. That tells me that it is an issue, and it's very hard when you're looking at all 4 hands to try to picture the single dummy problem and come up with the best line, and I don't see one off the top of my head. I don't see a good solution to this problem.
So a reasonable result in this match means they need a very good day tomorrow. So let's say they manage to get back to a draw.
Well, one possibility is to ruff a spade low in hand and then ruff a club with queen of diamonds. If he does transpire to have king, queen, X of clubs, you can now just play diamonds from the top. And if East discards, then I suppose you have to decide what to do now.
There's just I wish it was just between 1 or 2 plays. I mean, then there's the choice of diamond to the ace first, or trump a spade and trump a club with the 6, or trump a spade and trump a club with the queen. I think we have 3. Those are the 3 possibilities, it seems like, unless there's a 4th one. How about just a diamond finesse? That's another possibility. Just take a diamond finesse to the overcaller, and if the king of diamonds is on your right, you claim, because you can just draw a trump and give up a club trick. So that's a 4th. So there's at least 4 possible lines.
Well, not if he has 3 trumps. You can't draw his trumps, even if you finesse.
Yeah, you play the queen of diamonds from dummy. Right, he's in dummy.
Well, yeah.
He can play the queen of diamonds and draw a trump
Yes.
if he just wants to play for the king of diamonds on.
Being on side, or the roughing club finesse. East gave false count in the spade suit. He played 7.
He doesn't have a lot. All he knows is he knows the heart suit. He knows he started with ace, queen, jack, 10, 5 of the hearts, and so far at least king in 1 club. Any of those 4 lines we've discussed are all in play, I think. South must be thinking of my kingdom for that 9 of diamonds. What a card that would be.
Yeah, I don't think East particularly needs king of diamonds for his overcall when he's already turned up with ace, queen, jack, 10, X of hearts, and king of clubs. If anything, West is probably slightly more likely to have have the king of diamonds on length rounds. But
Well, how about, I mean, a diamond to the ace. That's my gut feel as the best of all worlds. A diamond to the ace, how's that going to lose? Let's see, if the king pops up, you're fine. If the 9 pops up from east, you're fine. The only, a diamond to the ace, I think, loses only if you play diamond to the ace and then trump a club. I think you're losing only to king third of diamonds on your right.
Doubleton king.
That's the only way you lose by playing a diamond to the ace. This RHO started with king third of diamonds and specifically king in 1 club. But unfortunately, that's possible.
So diamond to the ace, rougher club.
I kind of knew I would get that question. Okay, Jeffrey.
you're trumping a club with which diamond? If the 5 and the 4 appear on the first round of diamonds.
But it's hard to say what's best. We're all prejudiced by the fact that we can see what does work. And in fact, pretty much everything works here.
Roland, you said 4,000 people are watching. Not one of them is written in with the perfect answer to this.
Well, actually 5,314 are watching now.
I just saw a comment. Yeah, I think the writer is correct. If you play diamond to the ace and trump a club, you would also lose to a doubleton 9 of diamonds in east. That seems to... Well, wait. If you play a diamond to the ace and then a club...
He's following with his low spade.
You're going to trumpet the first club low, I guess.
Same as found the other table. Declare a rough the 3rd club.
Interesting. Spectators, 5, 5, 5, 5.
And
so Buras has chosen the same exact line I took in the other room. For whatever reason, he's decided to trump that club with the 6 of diamonds.
Seems right. And then you rough a club with the queen of diamonds. You could even rough a 4th spade with the 10 of diamonds.
It's nice to know that he couldn't have gone wrong.
And then rough something from dummy, and if West overroughs his end played.
Right. What I was going to say before is I knew that I would get that question eventually. If there's a time limit, I have to say there's a time limit for completing the 16 boards. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Playing with screens, but there's no time limit per board as such. They can catch up later, getting a few easy games or slams, whatever.
I think there was a way to go down, right? What if he finessed the diamond and a diamond came back? Then he would have had to guess the roughing, finessing clubs.
Yeah. That would be wrong if East has not overruffed.
From King and 1.
King and 1 or 9 and 1.
I don't say chances were 9 but Lauria might not find that.
Yes, he would probably get that right on restricted choice grounds with King Queen 1. East might equally play the king or the queen, so when he does play the king, he's more likely to start it from King Doubleton.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Just fine as well. Painful.
So, well done in the end.
Versace is asking Lauria, did you have a trump bigger than the 6? No swing, still 13-6 for Italy. Closed room, board 24, the halfway board of the set.
So there's been a fairly well-played flat match, other than that, I don't know, David and I used to call it brain damage, that hand where the Polish declarer at the other table went down in a lay-down game, either through greed of an overtrick or miscounting his tricks. We just don't know. Other than that, it's been almost a perfectly played match.
I guess it guess you might be able to find a way to come home at double dummy. Spade.
So I see the East hand overcalled 2 diamonds at the other table. I far prefer Lauria's double, although I guess the problem with the takeout double is if your partner bids 2 clubs, are you going to now bid 2 diamonds, which would tend to show a little bit more than this. What do you guys think about double as opposed to a 2 diamond overcall? And you could mention equal level conversion doubles if it applies here.
Exactly what I would do. I would double because I do play equal level conversion, and then I can bid 2 diamonds over 2 clubs without showing extras.
I don't like overcalling 2 diamonds at all. I would say the alternative to doubling would be to overcall 1 no trump, which at least gets the values across, and you do have a source of tricks in diamonds, so missing a 4-4 heart pit might not be a complete disaster.
So Jeffrey, you would rank 2 diamonds as your third choice, behind 1 no trump and double?
It's strange.
Yes, that's right.
Why would he not?
Normally if I overcall 2 diamonds, I try to have a 6-card suit.
What we're talking about, equal level conversion doubles, the theory is if you make a takeout double of a major, and your partner answers clubs, which is not what you had in mind, and you then correct to 2 diamonds, or diamonds at any level, you're not saying you have 18, like what we call the big double. You're not saying you have 18 points in diamonds. You're saying, partner, you just chose wrong. I have diamonds and the other major, 5 or more diamonds and 4 in the other major. And that's a matter of partnership agreement. If you're, the old textbook would, each sequence here would show like 18 or more points to double, take out double, and then bid diamond.
High diamond and a trump. That's good enough.
Larry, I know I would have disappointed you if I couldn't produce a macro to equal level conversion. So
I'm disappointed this one's not mine.
No.
Sorry about that. I can only have 1 in each category, really. Otherwise, I would have 10,000 macros.
North-South appear to be coming to rest in their 5-2.
Now North has doubled 2 clubs for takeout, he doubled 2 diamonds for takeout, and South wasn't quite sure whether he should bid his 4-card heart suit or the so-called safe choice of doubles and spade.
Fun to play.
And it's turned out that they have and landed in a 7-card fit rather than an 8-card fit.
I don't see why he wouldn't bid 2 hearts unless he just didn't want the diamond lead coming through.
Spades and dummies were off the 4th diamond. The problem is that a smart-ass declarer would win the ace of diamonds and lead.
Would any of you consider a 1 no trump overcall, I'm asked?
That would not be.
Yeah, Jeffrey already said that. He said he preferred 1 no trump to 2 diamonds.
Let's see whether
I agree.
does that. Yes, he has. So smart.
I like double, but then again, I have the agreement of the equal level conversion double. And even if I didn't have that agreement, I would just treat East hand as enough to upgrade. I mean, you have the king of spades on side, a nice 5-4 shape, a good diamond suit. So I'd be willing to just lie by a few points. So I prefer double.
Not
but
now, because
I guess if I had to choose between 1 no and 2 diamonds, I could pick 1 no as my second choice.
This diamond and lead a low spade.
Yeah.
Leading a low heart from hand didn't work. Maybe leading a low spade will.
So at the other table, they played in 4 hearts, and that single king of hearts on side looks good, but I guess declarer couldn't quite handle it. Did he lose 2 clubs and a spade and a diamond?
Yeah, that's what happened. So I asked Jeffrey this question. Now, what if the opening had been 1 heart, and you don't like to overcall unless you have 6 cards? Are you going to pass the hand?
He's going to finish up losing, I think, 4 heart tricks, where he would have lost 0.
Yes, that is an awkward bidding problem. It might be one of the few hands where I do have to overcall 2 diamonds, much as I suppose at least it's a good suit. And some people have a theory that if you're long on the opponent's suits, I think it was Mike Lawrence was wrote a book about this, saying that if you're long in the opponent's suit, then partner's supposed to be short in that suit and therefore have support for you.
Lauria,
I certainly wouldn't have won their trump with 4-3-8 in the opponent's suit, because if we have got a stop, it's probably right for the partner to play the contract.
Narkiewicz is saying, look, I had 4 hard tricks, I took none of them. How many more tricks do you want from me? Board 25.
Well, I don't know how many of you clicked one of Roland's many links, but if you are watching the table, there's a lot of heated discussion going on after this hand, both directions. There's a lot of Polish and Italian flying, or maybe they're all, no, it must be English because they're talking to each other. So there seems to be some sort of problem.
What exactly is that problem? I don't see any.
Well, I don't know, but if you have your camera on, there seems to be a bit of a heated argument across both ways.
And presumably must have started the trump suit.
That's just standard procedure.
Queen.
Well, Alfredo's hands are flying all over the place.
Trump loses to 3.
You should just see when Fredine is on Vugraph and on live video. He has been a few times.
And 3 hearts.
He'll be
Well, I
talking
find,
constantly.
playing against the Italians, it's always entertaining for me. I mean, whether they have a good board or a bad board, I mean, some of those postmortems, I just love to watch the body language and the discussion going on. Well, they put the next board on the table. I guess they don't need a director, but there seems to have been some sort of problem. I can't imagine what it was.
It doesn't look like the sort of board where different people have given different explanations, and someone's playing a call has been misexplained.
Viewers might be wondering, you know, with all these countries playing against each other, you know, what happens with the language barrier? You know, the 22 different countries in this Bermuda Bowl, well, 21 different countries, but the official language is English, and when you have Poland playing against Italy, they will communicate in English. Other than occasionally you'll get 2 countries, like maybe if France is playing Switzerland, maybe they'll talk in French or something, but in general, the language is English, and they're still arguing.
Yeah. Same applies to Scandinavian countries. They would usually speak in their native tongue because they understand each other. Germany playing against Austria also.
I find it's a little, I mean, it's when you're, well, they're still arguing. Roland, do you have that link to the camera again? This is good stuff here. It looks like someone's going to pull out a weapon or something.
Asking the Italians questions, but now Lorenzo.
Judging from the Vugraph operator's comment, it looks as though the discussion was about a claim. I didn't understand the claim that was made.
So here's a link to video again.
Yeah, people are asking me for the link. Roland's going to put it up, but we're too late because it looks like they're finally going to play bridge for the next deal.
Think he will?
I imagine North-South might find their way to 2 spades if they play support doubles.
Now, if you do put up that link, you're going to hear the sound. It's going to be very confusing. You're going to hear Barry Regal and company and us, so you'll want to mute one of the 2. Hopefully you'll mute them. We have big egos here.
14 to 17.
So you didn't see my link before then?
South probably doesn't.
Well, I saw your link before. Do you have a link where it's already muted?
South will surely come again.
The one on Trump opening here is 14 to 16 points.
I have a link where I encourage people to stay with us. Look.
Apparently 2 clubs, 2 hearts.
You can see what's written in the room, can't you, Larry?
Oh yeah, I saw you type that before, and
Okay.
I think some people can't figure out how to mute it, though. You know, we have people
Pass.
Just click
that
on,
orange. So computer
on the
leader.
loudspeaker.
On a club
Yeah.
lead.
Click on the speaker and you turn it off.
It's going down.
Well, underneath their picture, there's a little,
Certainly
next
looks
to the
as if
counter, there's a little
defenders
speaker
have
you can click on.
4 clubs,
So 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 2 no, south.
a heart and a
To use
spade.
to bid Stamen when you have a hand like this, you have to be willing to invite. You have to have at least 7, 8, 9 points, because 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 2 no is typically invitational to 3 no. So south is barely worth his Stamen try. If you only have 5 points and it goes 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, and you correct to 2 no, you're in big trouble, because partner might say 3 no and you're too high. South maybe barely had enough for the sequence.
Declarer does not look like a...
Larry, would you like to comment on attitude leads? Because the Italians lead attitude against neutral.
Sure. The question is, should we lead fourth from our longest or strongest, or attitude? And that's a very good question. Attitude means it requires much more skill and judgment. Attitude means you don't necessarily lead the fourth best. You lead where the lower you lead, the more you like it. So the deuce or 3 lead means you really like the suit. If you lead the 6 or 7, you're so-so. You're willing to stand another suit. For skilled players, I think attitude is actually the better way to do it. I know
Go from here.
when I'm declarer, I love when my opponents play fourth best. I can read the hand, I can count, I can figure out what's going on. I know if the suit's splitting 4-4, and when they lead attitude, I don't like it. So just from that point of view, attitude's probably better. But that said, I usually play fourth best. I don't know if that answered the question.
2 hearts and 2 spades, and that's down 3.
Oh, it did, yes.
Price.
But would you consider king kind of empty to 5 as a good suit?
Although the 1 down is good.
Well, that's another. That's what I'm talking about where the judgment comes in. Say you're going to lead a suit from king 8, 7, 5, 2. Well, I would lead the 2 if the rest of my hand were 3 little, 3 little, 2 little, because that's the only suit I have interest in. So my attitude is I love it. But if the rest of my hand were, say, ace, queen, 10 in another suit, I wouldn't lead the deuce from 5 to the king, because I'd want to convey to my partner, well, I don't love this suit. If you want to try to shift, I might be able to help you. So there's a lot of a judgment involved.
That summarises things quite well. I prefer to play attitude lead against no trumps, and you do have to make a decision as to how much you like that suit relative to the other suits.
Right, so on this deal, let's see, 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 2 no, and I'm on lead with king 9, 8, 3, 2 of clubs. Certainly the suit I'm going to lead. What do I know from the bidding? The declarer's got 4 hearts. The dummy probably has 4 spades. And the suit my partner might shift to if he gets in is diamonds, and I don't like diamonds, so 2 of clubs, or maybe the 3 of clubs. So when you have the 3 and the 2, you can play a little games, because the 2 is so committal. When you're playing attitude leads and you lead the 2, I mean, that's the strongest you can screen for a suit. So you might lead the 3, and that way if your partner forgets and thinks you're playing fourth best, you're covered that way too.
Looks like Narkiewicz has lost it completely here. By the look of it, if you look at him, he's still very unhappy about the 2 spades contract going 3 down.
2 no trump, you mean?
Yeah, but 2 spades before, I mean. The hand they were discussing. He went 3 down in 2 spades. And that could easily happen, you know, when you take all your frustration with you to the next board.
One of the most important things in bridge, and Bob Hammond was the best at it, is just the board's over, next board. Very few people can do that.
That's right, that's absolutely nothing you can do about the previous board, so there's no point in thinking about it at all.
So here's a hand where certainly penalty doubles, I hate to say it, would work out quite well, because after 1-no trump, South, if he were playing old-fashioned or some system where he could double to show a good hand, East-West have nowhere to, I mean, they wouldn't find, I don't know that they would run to their heart fit. Even if they did, they'd have some trouble. So certainly this was a good hand for penalty doubles, although I don't advocate them myself.
But they played 3-0. Well done, North-South, for overcoming the...
I wonder if Lauria said, thank you, partner, or grazie.
The 9 of clubs from North was a trick.
It's not a Yarborough, and he has to go 7 down in order to lose on the board, as we see. A 3-no trump was made in the other direction next door. So only if he doesn't take a single trick will he lose on the board.
That looks like quite a good result to bid and make 3-no trump. We can maybe take a look at that. This is pretty bad news for the Polish team and the Polish rooters, because they're going to lose another big swing here, and this is really jeopardizing any chance they had of qualifying. They're going to need a pretty much, I'd say, a miracle tomorrow. At this point, they were tied for 11th, and this is sending them lower.
Yeah. Larry, I take it you're familiar with the KNR hand evaluator, right?
Well, there's many hand evaluators out there. I'm familiar, not specifically with the KNR. I have, there's a bunch of them, 3Cs and Kaplan. What were you going to tell me about it?
KNR, Kaplan and Rubin's hand evaluator, rates the East hand as 13.85.
Well, I'm not surprised. The spots are terrible. The jacks are terrible. Well, that sounds a little low to me. But I know my friend Marty Bergen's huge on how to count points and add for this, subtract for this. I think it's a little too complicated. But good players are, I find they're very good when it comes to upgrading. They're willing to upgrade to 1-no and count for their 10s. But it's very rare you see them downgrade a hand like East. They just love to open 1-no trumps. So if it adds up to the range, they open 1-no. I don't, even if it's full of stray jacks and queens, they seem to not pay attention to those K&R valuations.
Unfortunately, Barry, this year I'm captain of the Open team.
Wrong team of the 3. Is that right?
Which, yes, quite.
Yes, and at the other table, East opened 1-no trump and South doubled. So I'm not sure if the Italians are playing penalty doubles in the other room, but certainly a good hand for them.
Well, as you all know, when your team does poorly,
And you could argue all day what's the best system against a strong no trump. And I think Roland the other day, you told me you looked it up and there were 53 of them listed. But I find the penalty double it doesn't come up that often. Sure, when it comes up like here, it's a valuable tool. But I think in the long run, penalty doubles are not practical.
and not be distracted by...
But even when they do come up, Larry, Cardinal is usually broke, has a 5 or 6 card suit, and he will take it out anyway.
Well, that's one thing, but I find that usually they'll be able to successfully run anyway. Like here, they might not be able to run, although they did run in the other room. They did find their 4-4 hard fit. So even when you're about to kill them in 1-no, they'll usually scramble out, and they'll land in a 4-4 fit on the 2 level, and you're reluctant to double that anyway. So it's kind of like a waste of time. And even when they sit for it, even when it does go 1-no double pass, I mean, and you have to guess the opening lead, and you lead away from your queen jack or ace king or king jack, and it's hard to defend 1-no. So I don't know. Not everyone agrees, but I don't like it.
Again, for any of you who weren't here before, New Zealand have a very tough schedule tomorrow. USA 1, Egypt, and Spain.
I think that's fascinating. I mean, experts don't have to agree, because Michael Rosenberg, for instance, disagrees with you. He says, I can't do without my penalty double of a strong no club.
Well, these days, people are psyching it, certain pairs, especially if they're white on red. and third seat, pass, one, no trump, then I need my penalty double. And in fact, I agreed with David the last few years we played together that if it was a third seat, one, no trump, we did play penalty doubles because there were too many thieves out there.
Play Chile, Iceland, and India.
What did the Japanese
have one of the easiest.
I would guess, just from my scan of convention cards and playing, that I would guess maybe it's a 75-25 split. Maybe 25% play doubles penalty. What do you guys think on that? Your observation.
If a captain's role were
yeah, probably something like that. Though interestingly, I think the whole of the USA 2 team are playing doubles as penalties in this Bermuda Bowl, and which was quite interesting. Justin Lau was discussing on Bridge-based forums why he didn't feel that was the better use for a double.
Well, I say this in a nice way, but that USA 2 team is full of those thieves of which I talk about. They're the ones who might open those funky one-no trumps, and if you're playing against such players, you do. I could see the reason to play doubles penalty.
Well, certainly the strong-nose trump seems to become a devalued currency in recent years. People are upgrading upgrading in quotes, all sorts of hands which would have been considered a strong-nose trump before.
Well, that's what you're trying
Absolutely,
to do.
and especially when you're white on red, and the opponents don't have a penalty double available, it's a license to steal.
How many doubles?
I think declare in the end 2 diamond tricks, 1 spade trick, and 1 heart trick down 3, but still 7 imps to Italy. And
anyway, so on this hand, the penalty double gained 7 imps. So they defended 1 no trump off 3 and made in the other room they made 3 no trumps.
It might have been some skillful declarer play or a defensive error. Well, can't do everything, but it would be interesting to see how they made that 3 no trump.
A very common result. USA 2 actually managed to bid.
So this looks like a routine heart game, unless East West get too high, in which case the opening lead against Slam would be crucial.
Whereas to make up for that, I guess, the Australian...
Let me guess that the lead was a club in the other room since declarer took all 13 tricks.
Right, if it was a red suit lead, he would probably draw trump and play king ace and ruffle club, and he would take 12 tricks. But on a club lead, that gives him all 13. Yeah, I agree with that club lead. I don't agree with leading a club necessarily, but I agree with you, Roland, that a club must have been the lead.
I think he actually has 7 hearts, 2 diamonds, and 4 clubs on a red suit lead.
Oh, you're right. I miscounted. Right, 4 king ace of clubs, ruffle club, 4 club tricks, 2 diamonds for 6, and 7 or 30. You're right. So is anything but a spade is 13 tricks.
Yeah, you've got a diamond lead, actually. 5 of diamonds.
Yeah, I just miscounted the tricks.
1 in 3 chance. The play will be extremely fast here.
So a big triumph here. Poland is going to win back 2 imps. A little bit
Everybody else
too little, too late.
to reach game, though, except for...
Although, as we pointed out before in these broadcasts, this is, in a few days when they're in the knockout phase, it's win or lose. If you win by 1 imp, you win. That's all that matters. But in these round-robin matches, which end tomorrow, it's not just win or lose that matters. It's by how much that matters. So even though Poland's unlikely now to win this match, if they can cut the deficit, that'll really help them because it's converted to victory points.
In the USA 2 match, we had Gru and Lal sitting east-west, and they had a healthy score of 1,010 and 6 hearts, up 1.
Well, opening lead is huge in this game, too huge in my opinion.
South appears to have pretty much the same set of honor cards as he had on the previous hand. Ace, king of spades, and queen, jack, 10, 4th of diamonds. Maybe the computer got tired. John, remind me of the rules for qualifying for Bermuda Bowl.
This is certainly going quickly here. Let's see. A normal start, a club. North really can't make a takeout double. I know a lot of weaker players would do it, but you can't do it with a doubles and spades, because if you're partnered with spades, you're dead. So North has to pass the one club.
Any team from the zone
East responds a heart. I know he's only got 5 points, but that's normal. South has a one spade overcall. West raises 2 hearts to show 4. The fact that he's a dead minimum doesn't matter. And now North wants to take action. He doubles to show cards. It's not a penalty double. There are no penalty doubles on such auctions.
Well, there was also
and South bids his second suit, and there they are in their 4-4 fit. So looks to me like the auction I would expect. If I were sitting in any of those seats, that's the auction I would have.
The poorer countries.
Right.
The only thing maybe is North went a little bit low road here. If he believes his partner is vulnerable overcall, he might have tried a little harder for game. He might have tried 3-no trump. His opponents, the fact that they opened and responded white on red doesn't mean much. So North did go slightly low road here. Three-no trump, it's not the worst contract ever. 3-no trump, they lead a heart. You take the spade finesse. You have 4 spades, 2 hearts, 2 clubs with the finesse. Looks like it probably would fall a trick short. And there's the possibility of an aggressive 5 diamonds, although pairs don't usually stretch to 5 of a minor. They normally would stretch to 3-no on this layout. 5 diamonds looks to me like it
can make, yeah. Even after 3 rounds of trumps, you can make it.
Yeah, with the spades coming in, it's
so anyway,
pretty straightforward. 5 diamonds is not the worst contract on this bidding.
Notice that? Again, North and South have 23 between them, and 11, at least 11 pairs bid 3-no.
Surely some North-South pairs would reach game on this layout. You know, I'm thinking Mextra Throdwell, for example.
5 diamonds, if you get 3 rounds of trumps, and with the Queen of Spades being offside, I mean, you need both finesses in hearts and clubs to come to 11 tricks. 4 spades, 2 hearts, 3 diamonds and 2 clubs.
Right, with the knowing the opening bidder is over there, and of course once East has the king of diamonds, those other kings rate to be on side. Not that it's a great contract. Probably though 5 diamonds versus 3-no trump might be a better contract. And this board's being played 66 tables. I'm sure some North-Souths will be in game, but I suspect 3-no trump is more likely than 5 diamonds.
No trump bid because it would have been artificial.
Do both of you agree with North's actions? I mean, admittedly, he took the low road. Do you think you would have been content to just make that responsive double and then pass 3 diamonds?
He needs a home for his club loser. Plays ace king of spades and roughs a spade. Now,
difficult.
Even if the defenders can,
I mean, I think you need quite good spades from partner to make 3-no trumps. It doesn't look as though diamonds is going to produce enough tricks. You've got ace queen 4-2 of hearts, so you've got 2 heart stops. 2 club tricks, let's say, and you're probably going to need something like 4 spade tricks and 1 diamond, which is certainly possible. It depends on how good partner's spade, or if a partner's got cards like Jack and 10 of spades, and I don't mind 3-no trumps.
Yeah, because I said at first I agree with all the bids, but you know, now that I think about it, vulnerable at him, some, you know, North's path might have been a little on the conservative side.
No swing, and Italy lead 29-8 with 4 deals to come.
So, is this a weak 2 bid in spades? There's things all over the place to consider. There's that side 4-card major, and also the fact that it might be too strong for it. I would not open 2 spades.
Come on, Larry. Only in America would you open a weak 2 with that hand.
Only America?
No European would ever open a weak 2 with that hand. It's much
because it's too strong, or because of the 4-card major?
Not only
It's
that,
too strong.
too strong, 4-card major on the side, and a void.
Well, to me, the void is part of what makes it too strong. But
No Trump response by South.
question is,
presumably
if
a
you don't
spade
open 2
raise or
spades,
some
which certainly I
description.
would not. Don't get me wrong. I
4
just
trumps,
threw it out there as a
so
possibility.
with a simpleton.
Would you open 1 spade?
I don't think
Yes,
so.
I think
Because he
it's a
doesn't
1
have
spade
a
opener.
What's
You-
your
you-
K
you
and
can-
R show for this hand?
Implication with three
I haven't asked Kane. I don't have it. I have 14 windows open.
invitational
Only
not
14.
sure
Well, I would
about-
would certainly open 1 spade. To me, this hand is worth a 1 bid any way you think about it.
Joe Share will tell me in a minute, I'm sure. He's on voice, and he has K&R on hand.
Follow a slower route if he had
It
any
looks
Some
like a
people
powerful
who-
hand because
invitational.
with Queen Jack
13.
10 8.
13.05.
Again, not
Good enough. I think almost everyone would open that 1 spade.
about to claim. In fact, I think he can do it now.
It's certainly better than many 12, 13 balanced hands.
So
I'm a little surprised. North's hand is quite interesting, isn't it? Could easily make a slam on very little.
I think the reason why he went so fast is that he
Oh,
had a way to
we've overtaken the close room, although they started 10 minutes ahead of us.
It's limited at the top end, hence North's.
So this is kind of a slam on a little bit more than the finesse for the hard queen.
Okay.
We
This
see
looks a little more
hard queen on
interesting.
side, and on the
6
layout,
clubs,
looks like slam would
certainly
make.
no better than the
Don't think they will bid it, though.
reached by
You better tell about
Polish East West.
why they won't bid it. Playing Roman key card, and Queen of Trumps and all that, being off 1 key card
Yeah,
from
well,
the
certainly
Queen of
if
Trumps.
they do, I don't, well, Lauria's, I guess he's going to make some tries here. I don't think he's just going to bid 4 hearts, but I don't know that he's going to get any cooperation. I don't see him even using Blackwood. I think they're going to stop
6 clubs.
on 4 hearts and not even get to 5 hearts.
Well, that's from his point of view, the most likely slam is perhaps 6 clubs. If his partner hasn't got club support, then he slams a long way off. He needs ace queen of hearts and one of the minus kings, and even possibly the 10 of clubs.
And ace.
One thing that makes each hand even, I know we're looking at a beautiful hand to begin with, is once the opponents bid spades, that makes your hand even better because you're singleton ace, and they wait to have king or queen or king queen jack. You know partner's points aren't all wasted in spades. You expect partner's points to fit with your long suits, so that makes these hand even better.
Perhaps if I understand the Italian commentary correctly, the 6 clubs has been reached in the closed room.
The 6 clubs, I don't know if that's better or worse than 6 hearts. There's issues. Because I mean, you can throw that 2 of hearts away on the 3rd diamond, and you don't really need the queen of hearts on side anymore. I don't know. It's not clear which is the better contract.
Trumps 4-1. Well, we'll see what happened in the play in a minute.
Well, 6 hearts is easiest to play anyway. Just take the heart finesse and hope.
So yeah, indeed, 6 clubs making in the other room. Quite a result for the polls. They're in need of something like that. They could win 9 and 10 imps here with that result.
Club ace you're going to make. Then you have
So,
2 minor entries.
over 3 clubs, Versace has cooperated.
King of diamonds and the 9 of clubs.
So you run the
Looks
Maybe he
optimistic
hasn't.
to me.
What's the
wait a minute,
clubs?
every
He
high spade
hasn't.
is good.
Well, 3 no trump is more cooperative than 3 hearts, isn't it?
No.
That's the awkward thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not sure.
In my book, 3 no trumps pretty natural. But
I suppose you have to draw trumps.
It's
Well,
a
whatever
letter.
it is. 3 hearts would say,
And-
partner, my hand stinks, and he didn't say 3 hearts. His hand sure looks like it stinks to me.
guess you don't make it.
If my partner opened a 1 bid and I had the West hand, I'm not looking for slam.
Ace of clubs. Let's say you're in 6 clubs on a king of spades to the ace. You play the ace of clubs, a diamond to dummy, run the 10 of hearts.
I wonder if anyone would open 2 clubs with these hands.
And I guess you can draw trumps.
But how?
Jack of clubs, king of clubs, 9 of clubs. Because the singleton's the 10.
No, that's true. You can overtake.
Well, it's not strong enough to force the game on the east hand.
Let's see what's happening here.
It's probably about the right strength for a 2-no trump opening, but not really the right shape. I know some people who would open 2-no trumps on that hand.
Versace cooperated.
Sorry, Jeffrey. Versace has shown even more cooperation. He's falling in love with the 2 kings and the jack of spades and the 10 of hearts. He cooperated with 3-no, and now over 4 clubs, he's still not done. I think now they're going to get to slam.
Does that make
Well, Lauria has heard. Well, Lauria has heard some. I guess if 3-no is natural, that's a deterrent because that would be a spade card. But certainly 4 diamonds, king of diamond card. Boy, okay, I'm wrong, and wrong. I should have stuck with my first prediction, which is they wouldn't get above 4 hearts.
Okay, well
Let's
bid.
go back to that.
In a sense, slam is almost there.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know though. Didn't Lauria
Well,
hear
future
2
bid
signs
on
of
with
encouragement
West
from his
cards.
partner?
If
I don't.
slow 4
Maybe I
hearts,
don't understand this
slam
auction.
mix, they'll take it away from you.
maybe 3-no trumps was non-serious. We don't know.
But you would think it's stronger than 3 hearts.
Yes.
In the Venice Cup, Netherlands.
Stronger than 3 hearts, but he hasn't got such a bad hand. His partner makes a game trying clubs. He's got little wastes in spades, king of clubs, and the king in diamonds, which partner appears to have some length in.
Anyway, 10 much needed imps to Poland.
And the match between Trinidad and Tobago and England in the Venice Cup is over. And the Trinidad ladies have defeated England, who were top of the table 18-12. If nothing else, I can guarantee that that will make their tournament. Sounded like some American ladies were happy with the result. See how
USA 2 has overtaken Netherlands in 2nd place now. USA 2 having a very good game against Egypt. They're in the 23-7 range.
Back 10 imps. They trail by 11. In the other room, you'll see 3-no trumps. They're in the middle of the auction. I guess you want to play 6 now.
So another potential slam for East-West here. Maybe
Spade
6
split or the
no
club
trump.
face works.
I think 6 no trumps the best contract. Well, that's certainly not the correct auction up there. Okay. 6 no trump, assuming hearts run, you have top and knock out the diamond ace. You have 5 heart tricks, 2 diamonds for 7, 3 spades for 10, and the ace of clubs for 11. And then you can hopefully test spades first, and if that doesn't work, fall back on the club finesse or maybe even some sort of position, some sort of squeeze. So I think 6-no trump is the best contract.
More Gazzilli here. They also use Gazzilli after one heart, one spade. So two clubs is ambiguous, two-way, either natural, 11-15 or any 16 plus hand. Two diamonds showing at least 8 high cut points. 3 no trumps showing a strong no trumps with hearts and clubs. Would you believe? Well, that's what he has.
Well, that looks like that's going to land them in 6-no trump, and fortunately from the right side, because they can't hurt you with a club lead, making you take that finesse. This way you get to retain all your chances, hopefully, if you can knock out the diamond, especially when North has the ace, and test spades and fall back on the club finesse. So it's the best of all worlds, 6-no trump by West.
But wouldn't you think that Lauria would just bid 4 no trump for the time being, in case partner has 15?
Well, tell me again what 3 no trump showed in points.
15, a strong no trump with hearts and clubs.
15 to 17, and he's looking at 15. And as far as what kind of a 15, well, the Queen Jack Doubleton, Jack Doubleton in general are bad, but the fact that they're in his partner's long suits revives them a bit. His spades are empty. Yeah, I think 4-no is about right, invitational.
These hands can be quite difficult to evaluate because East has got Jack Doubleton in his partner's suit. Now, obviously, Ace King Queen to 5, that's brilliant because that makes it likely to play for 5 tricks. But if partner had, say, Ace King 9 to 5, then the Jack is of less certain value.
But of course, it's better than too little. The fact that, you know, when I pick up the Doubleton Jack, my students always ask me, how do you count for a Doubleton Jack or a Singleton Queen? We have to listen to the bidding, and that Doubleton Jack of hearts, whatever it started out as, it does have some value now. The fact that partner has hearts, the 4-no feels about right, and with 17, I guess he will go.
Oh, he did, as we, well, not predicted, but what we thought would be a fair bid for no trumps.
Yeah, 4-no and 6-no. This feels about right because if partner now is 15 or, you know, bad 16, he'll pass, and that'll be high enough. If you take away one of West's queens, for example, any one of West's queens, slam would be terrible or be hopeless. So 4-no feels right when we look at West's hand, and we see that opposite the actual 17, slam is worthwhile.
He can't hold more than 17 probably on this auction. He did move towards.
So this is bad news for Poland since they stopped at 3-no at the other table. The best they can hope for is a push, but I think they're about to lose 11 imps.
I'm sure West.
Really strange that they didn't even make a try in the other room.
Whether he's going to bid 5-no and look for a slam other than no trumps.
It's possible that West will be wondering if hearts is could be the right strain rather than 6-no trumps, and may try and make a bid to involve partner in the decision between 6 hearts and 6-no trumps.
Or maybe even
I very much agree.
6 hearts.
Exactly. I very much agree with both of you. He's not thinking about passing. Thinking about passing for no trump, obviously.
I'm sorry, he could bid the old popular 5-no trump, partner, pick a slam, which is one of my favorite bids in bridge.
He did bid 6 hearts. I like that bid.
Well, I kind of like 6 hearts.
You could go down in heart tricks, couldn't you? Suppose partner has a Doubleton, 10 Doubleton.
Well, couldn't his partner have 2 little hearts and Ace King Jack fit the spades? I mean, is it possible? I don't quite know the system, but I would think, for example, Lauria could have had, instead of the Jack of hearts or Jack of clubs, he could have had the Jack of spades, and I would have liked to have brought spades into the picture.
And I think if East should know that Jack and 1 hearts is enough trumps.
If any of Lauria has 3 jacks, if one of them happened to be in spades, 6 spades would probably be the right contract.
If East had
So you're saying that 5-no trumps is actually keeping 3 options open and 6 hearts only 2.
Here there can't be any
That's what I'm saying.
because your queen jack of clubs solidify the suit.
Or possibly 5-no trumps doesn't emphasise the hearts as much. If you've jumped to 6 hearts, having shown your shape, you're saying I've got very good hearts in context. If you bid 5-no trumps, you might only want to play in hearts if partner can suggest the suit.
The senior bowl, Australia have come back a bit against Canada, so they're trailing Germany.
So do we think Lauria is going to pass? I certainly think he might.
10 victory points.
Maybe 6
Yes,
hearts.
I think he might be. With ace king to 5 spades, you might think that the spades could be roughed out playing in hearts. Opposite ace king queen to 5 hearts and 2 small spades, let's say, he might go to rough 1 spade and even duck a spade.
Maybe 6 hearts is better than 6-no trump. I mean, of course, 5-1 hearts could. 6 hearts might go down when 6-no makes, but other than that, doesn't 6 hearts give you more opportunity than 6-no trump?
Fighting it out.
Yes, another point for accepting 6 hearts is that no trump is wrong-sided anyway, if you wanted to play the hand to protect your king of diamonds, perhaps.
But how would declare a play in 6 hearts? I think 6-no trump's more straightforward to play.
In the Venice Cup handed France a defeat, which means at this moment Netherlands have 7 victories.
So the opening lead's probably going to provide, there's a good chance the opening lead will end all the suspense, and a club lead certainly
8th place.
would give him 12 top tricks if Trump split.
Well, I don't think they'll lead a club. Remember that West has shown a club side suit.
Yeah, but it's not like, I mean, unless he's going to lay down the ace of diamonds, he doesn't have a lot of attractive choices. Well, spade from Jack third, a trump.
Spade is possible. Well,
Yeah, well, if a spade is led, declarer, that could slow declarer down because there's all kind of a lot of options. I don't know that he'll just want to take that club finesse and bank everything on that.
interesting. Interesting set altogether, isn't it?
Always. I'd have to really, it'd be rare for me to see 16 deals and think there was dullness and nothing to discuss.
What is he thinking about, I'm asked? Well, he's thinking about passing or pulling to 6-no trumps. He's not thinking about, not thinking about bidding 7, don't worry.
Not thinking about bidding 6 spades either, because of the spade suit. Ace king 7 6-2 is not going to be good enough to play in a 5-2 fit. If partner had something like queen jack double from the spades, then partner would have bid 5-no trumps or 6 spades himself.
So here it's Lauria trying to work out, facing what he expects to be 2-5,
So
2-4.
while he's thinking, let me take the opportunity to thank our excellent operator in Veldhoven. Stefan Hopp is his name. He's been brilliant. And the way you can tell that he's been brilliant is that you haven't seen a single undo. You haven't seen him, you haven't heard him, and it's just like a referee, you know, basketball, football, hockey, whatever. If you can't remember his name afterwards, he's been very, very good. It's a grueling job, you know, for 2 full weeks, 3 times a day. And they're doing just fine, all of them.
Japanese are dropping from
Unlike the
qualifying
players, you never get to be dummy. You always have to
7
play the cards.
VPs behind.
I tried it one time to do the Vugraph just to see, and it is harder than it looks. It takes, you might think it's just easy, you just click in what happens, but it is a learning curve there.
I think the key word is concentration, isn't it?
Selected as in the other room.
Absolutely, you can't afford to blink, and it's physically taxing too, you know, on your neck and having to focus. It is harder than playing. Like Jeffrey said, you're never the dummy.
Declare rates, I guess, to win the
So
queen
how
of
is he going to play
spades.
6-no trump? I would think he's going to win this and play on diamonds at some
Good shot
point.
by North, who knew that West had a Doubleton spade and
basic
host.
plan is going to be to test,
Dummy
knock
put
out the
down
ace of
the nine
diamonds,
spades.
run the
Such
majors,
would
and if
get
they
several
don't break,
things to
fall
think
back
about,
on
but as the cards lie,
basically the club finesse.
he'll come to 12 tricks slowly.
No way to go wrong.
No, and I got exactly that question. What is he thinking about? The contract is cold. Well, for
Yeah,
us it
it's
is.
so nice when you can see all 52 cards, isn't it? I just got a note that about the Vugraph operating. Sometimes players don't show you their cards either. They're very protective of them, and you can't even see what they played. And the players don't like it when the Vugraph operator says, "What did you play? What did you?" They don't want the Vugraph operator interrupting. So it's tricky.
And what's your approach to that, Larry, as a player, if asked?
South gives
Well,
count on the spades
I'm
at
very
first
polite.
try.
I'm a nice guy, so I
North
would
will win
cooperate.
the ace of
But
diamonds
I
if
kind
the
of hold my
club
cards and
put
play
the
my
ace of
cards in
king
a
of clubs
visible
for
way.
the other
But
point.
so it's never been a problem. But I do see players who are, you know, they don't care about the Vugraph operator, and they're in their own little world. And then the Vugraph operator sometimes will say, "What did you play?" And they'll get testy and nasty about it. I think the players should be more cooperative at all times.
Yes, it's strange if you're a player playing on Vugraph because you're used to just playing a normal game of bridge. You make sure that the cards can be seen by the other players. You don't think about somebody who's sitting in the corner.
Conceal the position in the diamond suit.
So the first few times you play on Vugraph,
Just in case
it can be
the ace.
a little unsettling and unnerving. You know, it's being reported, and you never know which broadcasters or BBO commentators are misanalyzing all your well thought out plays. It can be a little disconcerting if you let your mind
Now
be bothered by it.
So Narkiewicz thinking about not winning this trick. And I know why. Because if he does, he'll rectify the count for a squeeze, if there is a squeeze.
so when a spade came back,
Certainly,
spades,
Declarer was
Declarer
happy
had
to see
12
the ace
tricks.
of diamonds with North because, as I said before, if South takes the ace of diamonds and pokes through a club,
Last board,
you don't get to
Italy
try
by
everything. It's
22.
the moment of truth. With North taking it,
Closed
Declarer
board.
got to test the
North
spades
South played
and
3 hearts,
then knew he didn't need the club finesse, even though it was on.
140. Some big
So
numbers.
before the last board, we are in the 2010 VP range.
20s from time to time.
And the players can ill afford that.
And a very good
I
last
think the
result
Italians
for
here, well, actually both
USA
pairs
2
that we saw in
against
Vugraph played a
the
very
France
nice
in
match.
Davis
The
Cup,
only, I mean, there was a
which
luck
is
on
the
one of those
victory
slams, but
10
the rest of the
victory
match,
points
the
out
only
of
really
qualifying
bad
place.
thing that happened was at the other table on board
Sweden
20. We don't
lead
know what happened, but
China
something bad happened.
by half a victory point in the Bermuda Bowl for the last qualifying place.
So it's time for me to thank my excellent co-commentators, Larry Cohen and Jeffrey Allerton, to our colleagues doing the type commentary, all in Italian, too many to mention, to all our spectators for coming this afternoon, early evening in Europe, and finally to the WBF for allowing us to broadcast from this prestigious event. We will be back tomorrow, usual time, 10:30 Central European Time, 9:30 AM in the UK, 19:30 in Australia, very early in the morning in USA, I'm afraid, 4:30 AM in New York, and 1:30 AM in Los Angeles.
How would you play it?
So North-South took an aggressive view here. North Stamen bid was very risky because if in 1-0-2 clubs, 2 spades, that's certainly what my partner always bids. If I Stamen with that North hand, you know he's going to bid your void. Not because he hates you, but because that's the odds. You have none. He rates to have long spades. So for 1-0-2 clubs, 2 spades, North had to have some sort of contingency plan. Perhaps they play 1-0-2 clubs, 2 spades, 3 clubs as sign-off. Otherwise, he was going to be dead. But he lucked out. He got a 2-heart response and raised aggressively to game. Certainly, I would do that if it went 1-0-2 clubs and I was lucky enough to hear 2 hearts.
And it looks like this will add to Poland's misery.
Well, are you scheduling them to go down already?
Yeah. I am, I'm afraid.
Looks very complex to me.
But the trouble is that you're being shortened in the hand with King, Queen, 8.
I suppose you could pitch a diamond at the first trick.
You can't get to use those clubs. You can't draw a trump and use clubs.
Pitching a diamond?
That's what I mean. I can't get to the good clubs.
But that Jack-9 of hearts fortuitously drops. Is it possible he can scramble 10 tricks? That's a lot of scrambling.
I guess that holds. Maybe I should...
Maybe. But then they play a spade back.
Huh?
They spade on you.
Do you think that Teclair is considering discarding a diamond on the opening lead?
Yeah. If ace is from ace-king, that's not a bad play because if he discards a diamond, the West can't profitably continue. Well, he can continue spades, but that's going to bring South's queen of spades into play. Maybe discarding a diamond. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm supposed to know the answer since I'm doing this, but we used to be able to click this GIB button and figure this all out. Is that gone now?
It is tempting to discard from dummy at the first
Yes,
trick.
it's gone as far as the web client is concerned.
Well, I see it in the other room. I can click it. Like when you click on other table 3 hearts and go look at the diagram and click GIB, I can see it over there.
Yeah. You can't see it here. I don't mind too much, I must admit.
I think everyone's better off not having it because it just gets you thinking double dummy instead of single dummy. But Jeffrey, I think throwing a diamond from dummy might have been the winning play. Let's see how this goes.
First trick for the defense. The king of diamonds will presumably be led to trick 2, although maybe the 10 of spades is better. I don't know.
I guess he should play the...
Can't he just shorten dummy again? Playing another spade?
That's the jack of spades.
Let dummy come down to king, queen, doubles and hearts?
He can, and that's why that potential play at trick 1 of throwing a diamond might have been the way to make this hand. Then they wouldn't be able to have all these potential spade shortening these plays available. So let's see if ace of spades and dummy threw a diamond and Versace switched. We could kind of get to this position and dummy would still have 1 more trump in it. I don't know. It still looks tricky.
I don't know. It's certainly too difficult a deal for board 32, the last board of a long day.
we see, he can shorten the dummy, but when they deal you king, queen, jack in a suit and the ace of trumps, it sure is tempting to switch to a diamond. I mean, he doesn't know that his partner started with Lauria, doesn't know his partner had ace, king, jack in spades. His partner might have had ace, king, empty in spades, and the declarer might have queen, jack, 10, fourth or something, and
Could you have spades?
well, not 10, but queen, jack, and it's possible the diamond shift is necessary. This is not an easy play for Lauria.
Yes and no.
And even if he shifts to a diamond, I'm not saying that declarer's going to exactly just claim. There's still lots of trouble.
Sweden have just dropped out of the qualifying places in the
If he shifts to the
Bowl,
king of diamonds,
by both
declarer,
China and New Zealand,
let's say he would have win it and play a
with
heart
late
for the
results
king and
this
ace,
way.
and now if more diamonds came, I guess he might make it. I guess if Lauria never plays more spades, maybe declarer will have a chance.
Yeah, playing his partner for the jack of hearts. Isn't that basically what he needs when he continues spades?
Senior tournaments.
Well, I don't know so much. It's almost the jack of spades might be more important than the jack of hearts. I think
Denmark leading
he
by
can tap,
5
if he
victory
knows
points
partner's
at the
king,
top of
jack
the
of
table.
spades, he can tap dummy now, tap dummy
Roland
later.
won.
I think he's just trying to kill the
Just
clubs
lost to
more than
Poland, and Poland
setting up
are in
the
third
jack of hearts
place.
trick is his thinking.
Wait a minute. Suppose he plays the spades. Suppose I ruff. Suppose I play another club,
Right?
throwing my diamond.
And it's
I have to
east
admit,
right
this is
there.
where I would click
Then
gib
if
and
he's
see
ruffs,
what's what
I
here. I mean, it feels to me a spade lead surely sets it.
Over.
I'm just curious what
This is
happens if he
over.
plays diamonds, if
Well, now
that
the
can let it
Predators
make.
have a
Then
heart
he's-
trick and a diamond trick to come, so that would be down 1.
One.
You have one
Two.
trick in. You have an over off, a diamond, and a heart. So
We don't have.
You really want to know, Larry? If you do, I can
6 of hearts.
log in with my second account. or one
You
of
told me
my
you have
other
14
accounts.
windows opened. I don't want to put you through that.
No.
No, that won't be a problem. I can log in
Discard.
You discard your 4 of
and
diamonds.
use the Windows version, and I can tell you if it can be made or not.
That doesn't seem
Well, I don't think it can be made with a spade. Aren't we the expert commentators? We're supposed to know. We're looking at all the cards. There's only 32 cards there. Can't we figure this out?
But it looks like East has to rough the club, otherwise
Mm,
maybe.
yes,
South could be
that's
the
what it
better
looks like to me.
West on play.
But I'm not exactly a world-class analyst, so
You're right.
could be wrong, but
He may still just be able to exit with a
Stay
diamond.
What do you have to do to be
Well,
world
kill it.
class?
Play another spade.
somebody like you.
Still work for the defense.
That's right.
Okay.
No, I still have 3 trumps.
Back comes
So he
the
has
spade.
played a spade, which certainly single dummy looked best.
If South covers with the 8
I mean-
and lets West's jack,
Spectator
West can switch back to
looked
diamonds. So it does
for me,
very good to them.
and she says that only a spade back will defeat it.
Well, that's kind of what we figured out. We just weren't sure.
Yes, but that may not have been obvious to East because East is looking at ace 6-3 of hearts and doesn't know his partner's got the jack.
Not to mention the good diamonds he was looking at, and not to mention he didn't know who had the jack of spades either.
Many VPs at stake here, really.
You ruffed.
He did
Yeah,
rough.
Now it's interesting. East must rough, I think.
If he goes down, he'll lose 195 amps.
Okay, so now
That will make it 27,
Ah,
21,
now
9 VPs.
plays the king of spades.
On the other hand, if he makes
the
it,
king of hearts
he'll
as
gain
well.
2 VPs,
If West plays a
down
diamond,
to 1911 loss.
Sarah wins the ace and plays a heart to dummy. I think the defense is
Well, I
still
did manage to enter it. I have 2 windows open, Roland. I can't do 14, and I
Okay,
see
now
that
another
on the ace
straight
of
through
spades
forces
lead,
declarer to rough,
if
and
declarer followed
Buras.
Jeffrey's suggestion of throwing a diamond from dummy,
Well, how is that?
now it would take a diamond shift to set the hand.
One discard. Yep. Down 1, it appears. Let's see whether everybody agrees to the score or not. For 5 more imps to Italy, and I fear the end of Poland's chances of qualifying.
So, going down it is.
Hey,
21-9 to Italy.
hey, it's 2-8.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Half.
Thanks Lauria and Jeffrey again.
Half.
And goodbye for now.
Well,
Thank you.
it's going to be a good finish tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. See you tomorrow, perhaps.